Hi everyone, my name is Sahil and I welcome you all at Apti Plus IAS platform. In these particular videos, we are going to cover editorials published in Hindu and Indian Express newspaper. In these particular videos, we shall ensure that we give you a 360-degree coverage, a 360-degree view over the developments that are evolving. Today's video shall cover newspapers of 6th, 7th and 8th of June. Let's get started with the discussion. Now, first article that we are going to cover is special category question. This article was published in Indian Express newspaper. Now, before going in this particular article, I would discuss two things with you. Number one, what is utility of this article for our examination? And number two, what is basic background that you should know first? First of all, this particular article will be important for your GS paper number 2, governance and related issues, developmental issues, developmental issues, and federal issues, and federal issues. First of all, why this special category issue has come in news? So you might have followed that recently election results were declared, and as NDA has come to the power, two of the important coalition partners of NDA, that is TDP, Telugu Desam Party of Andhra Pradesh, and Janata Dal United of Bihar, they have turned to be pretty significant. And JDU for Bihar is asking the special category status, and TDP for Andhra Pradesh is asking the special category status. Now, which party is asking, that is not important, but what is the special category status that they are asking? What are implications of it? What are the parameters on which the special category status can be given? Whether it should be given or not? What is the present policy of the government of India with respect to special category status? All these particular things we have to explore in this particular video. Let's get started. First of all, basic background information. Now, guys, understand this particular thing, and I want to clear it because many aspirants have this confusion. See, when we talk about the special status, often it comes in the minds of UPSC aspirants that there are certain constitutional provisions also that we have. See, there is Article 370 that we have, which provided the special status to Jammu and Kashmir, which has now been revoked. And there is Article 371 also that we have. It contains Article 371 to 371J. 371 to 371J. Now, these two articles provides for the special status to certain states. However, special category status that we are discussing today, that is mentioned in that particular article, that is separate from these two provisions. Article 370 and 371, it actually provided more political autonomy to the states that are covered here. Okay, but the special category status that we are discussing today, it largely pertains to economic and financial support that is given to certain states. So that is a separate. This is separate. First thing you need to understand. Now, when we talk about the idea of when we talk about the idea of special category status, this particular idea, it came in 1969. 1969. So 1969, Fifth Finance Commission, Fifth Finance Commission recommended that certain states, because of developmental deficit that is there in these states, certain states they are backward. So these states need more economic support. So therefore, certain states, it was agreed that they will be given a special category status. Certain states will be given special category status. Fifth Finance Commission provided this thing. Now, guys, first of all, when we talk about Finance Commission, so Finance Commission is a constitutional body mentioned under Article 280 of the Indian Constitution. Finance Commission is appointed by President at every 5 years, and Finance Commission, it is given certain terms of reference. These terms of reference largely pertains to how the consolidated fund of India can be augmented. Certain developmental issues can also be given to the Finance Commission. Right now, we are in the tenure of 15th Finance Commission, and 16th Finance Commission is around the corner. Now, in the 5th Finance Commission, 1969, which was under the chairmanship of Mr. Mahavir Tyagi, the idea of special category status was agreed. Now, special category status was to be given on the basis of Gardasil formula. It was to be given on the basis of Gardasil formula. Now, what is this Gardasil formula? Let's understand this. So, basically, under the Gardasil formula, there were certain parameters that were recognized. There were certain parameters that were recognized. For example, if certain state has hilly terrain or challenging terrain, they can be given special category status. If certain state is having border location, bordering states, they could be given special category status. If there is low per capita income, low population density, sizable, very big tribal population, economic and infrastructure backwardness. Fine, they don't have infrastructure which can support industry, they don't have well developed highways, etc. So economic infrastructure backwardness, unviable state finances, state does not have sufficient revenue streams. This is referred to as Gardasil formula. In Gardasil formula, it was said that any state which is fulfilling these particular criteria, they can be given special category status, and it was agreed. It was agreed by the 5th Finance Commission, and in 1969, the special category status got started. Fine. Now, guys, when we talk about special category status, what is the idea? Idea of special category status is very simple, that you need to give some additional financial support to these particular states so that they can also kickstart their economic growth. It was expected that these particular states, as they will be given the more financial support, it will bring uniform growth, it will bring parity. Now, you know this particular thing already, that there are certain states in India which have turned to be backward, have not scaled. However, some states, they are pretty much advanced. So a disparity has come. Now, giving this kickstart financial support to these particular states will make them developed, and a kind of a parity, level playing field will come. Second, it was said that it will bring equity, equality, it will bring inclusive development of entire country. Okay, fine. So this is something that will happen. Now, first of all, guys, I am using this particular word that you are giving more financial support, more financial support. So what financial support is given to the states which get the special category status? This is also very important thing. To understand this thing, the states which get special category status, first of all, when we talk about the central government assistance, okay, they get more central government assistance. Let's understand this particular thing. You see this thing, that actually when we talk about schemes, largely schemes can be divided in two broad categories. There are central sector schemes, and then there are centrally sponsored schemes. Now, central sector schemes, entire money is given by central government, implementation is with the states. But when we talk about central sponsored schemes, here you see this particular thing, that money is shared between center and the state. Now, usually that particular proportion is 60-40, it can be 50-50 also. Now, you see, states which have special category status, in them, center's contribution is 90%. Center's contribution is 90%. The states, they have to mobilize just 10% of the money. So, special category states, they get more central assistance, 90% of assistance for the central sponsored schemes, and also more purpose based grants are given to those states which have the special category status. It has been provided that 30% of the government's budget, it is to be attributed to the special category states. Now, when we talk about the special category states, excuse me, so right now, special category status is with the Assam, Nagaland, Himachal Pradesh, Manipur, Meghalaya, Sikkim, Tripura, Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, Uttarakhand, Telangana. These states have the special category status. And basically, apart from the central government assistance that I discussed, some other benefits are also given to these particular states. For example, they get special consideration for government funding. They get special tax they get tax reductions, they get the tax benefits, so that they can invite more and more industries. Okay, so industries, they are always very much positive for a desirable tax regime. So in the tax aspects also, they are given certain preferences. They are given access to debt reduction programs of the government. They are also exempt from certain type of taxes. Okay, so these are all the special benefits that are given to special category states, and I told you that all these particular states, they have the special category status. Now, right now, who is asking special category status? Andhra Pradesh and Bihar are asking special category status. Why they are asking, first of all? Now, first of all, guys, when we talk about Andhra Pradesh says this particular thing that in 2014, Telangana got bifurcated from Andhra Pradesh, and Hyderabad, which generated a lot of revenue for Andhra Pradesh earlier, Hyderabad went to Telangana. Okay. Also it has been said that to compensate for the revenue loss, as well as because 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 it was promised that revenue compensation will be given, it has also not largely happened. So therefore, they want now special category status. Now, when we talk about Bihar, you see this particular thing that Bihar was classified as one of the most poorest state as per 2011 census. Also in 2013, there was Raghuram Rajan committee, which recommended that Bihar is a least developed state of India. So Bihar state that our because we are the least developed state and because of the poor status of Bihar, they should also be given the special category status. So they are demanding it. They are demanding it. They are demanding it. Now, when we talk about special category status right now, what is the status that you need to understand? Now, you see this particular thing, guys, that what happened? 14th Finance Commission. 14th Finance Commission has made two very important recommendations. Number one, 14th Finance Commission recommended that now states should not be given special category status. Why? Because giving this special category status puts a lot of stress, it puts a lot of strain on the finances of central government. Also, it has been provided that the states which have been given special category status, they have not actually on practical fronts, this has not helped them too much on the ground. This has not helped them too much on the ground. Thirdly, Finance Commission also recommended this particular thing that rather than giving certain states a special category status, overall, overall devolution of money that is given by center to the state, it should be increased. Let me explain you. So basically, guys, what happened till the 13th Finance Commission? Till 13th Finance Commission, out of the total, now till the 13th Finance Commission, 32% of central government's revenue, 32% of the central government's revenue, fine, it was transferred to the states, 32%. Now this devolution increased to 42% with the coming of 14th Finance Commission. However, 15th Finance Commission brought it down to 41%. Why 1% less? Because what happened? Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, they became a separate union territory. So because of that, it was brought to 41%. Now, what does it mean? So basically, the vertical devolution, fine, fine. Suppose central government is getting 100 rupees in revenue, fine. Now, out of 100 rupees, earlier 32 rupees, they were being given to the state government as the grants, as the support. Now, after 14th Finance Commission, 42% will be given. Okay. Now, we are in 15th Finance Commission's tenure, 41% is being given. So, what has happened? The percentage of vertical devolution, which was earlier 32%, it got increased to 42% during the 14th Finance Commission. So 14th Finance Commission recommended that why you need to give additional support to the special category state. Overall devolution we have increased by 10 percentage points. Okay. And largely what has happened since the 14th Finance Commission came, even the state which have special category status, the states that I told you, these particular states which are having special category status, they are also not getting some special money. So right now, what is the view of union government? Union government tells Andhra Pradesh and Bihar that number one, we are not giving the special category status after 2014-15. Second, they say this particular thing that even the states which have special category status, they are not getting some extra money. Okay, fine. So this is something that has been provided. Fine, this is something that has been provided. Now, basically, guys, what can be the suggestions? What can be the way forward? So there can be multiple things that can be put forward in this particular regard. Number one, we need to re-evaluate the entire special category status criteria. This is true that certain states, they are far more backward than the other states. These states need far more support, but that is also to be recognized that special category status has not helped up till now. So what we need to do, we need to properly reevaluate this particular criteria, and we need to take a balanced path, that how support should be provided, but how that particular support should not be unpractical, should not be unfeasible. That is to be recognized. We need to update the criteria. Now, if you remember, we have discussed certain criteria on whose special category status was given. So we need to update the criteria so that it reflect the current economic realities, developmental needs. Also, before giving the special category status, we need to assess the financial feasibility of special category status. Is it feasible for the center to give? Because we have seen this particular thing, that often when special category status is being given, it has enhanced the deficit, it has enhanced the revenue fiscal deficits of the government, okay, central government. Then there can be alternative support mechanisms that can be explored. For example, guys, for example, aspirational districts are recognized. Now, basically, guys, aspirational districts are those districts which are having the poorest socio-economic indicators, and they are given special preference when certain schemes are concerned. So, such kind of alternative mechanisms are to be recognized. Also, we need to focus on targeted funding. We can create special economic zones. So the states which are backward, center government, rather than committing that, okay, we are going to give you this much percentage, rather than committing, they can be given these kind of things. For example, special economic zone can be developed. In Gujarat, there is gift financial city that has been developed. Such kind of centers can be developed here. Then infrastructure development is to be prioritized in these particular states so that they can attract more industries. Ease of doing business can be improved. Also, balanced development is to be prioritized. Balanced development, inclusive development is to be prioritized, because you see that certain states, they have progressed so much, certain states, they have stayed backward. So in order to avoid that disparity, balanced and focused developmental approach should be adopted by the government of India. So this can be way forward in this particular situation. I hope that you have understood this entire issue from the beginning till the culmination. Now we'll be moving to next article. Now we'll be moving to the next article. Remolding the Global Plastic Treaty. Remolding the Global Plastic Treaty. Now let's understand that what this entire issue is all about. Before going in this particular article, let's understand some basic background information that will be important for you. See, first of all, when we talk about plastic pollution, certain points that you should note. Number one, 2023 World Environment Day. Now, these are the additional points. You may please note it down, not given in the article. 2023 World Environment Day, which was, by the way, 50th World Environment Day. Its theme was Beat Plastic Pollution. Its theme was Beat Plastic Pollution. Now, see this thing. World Environment Day, first World Environment Day was observed in 1973. Why? If you know, 1972 Stockholm Conference was held. Now, 1972 Stockholm Conference, it was the first such high-profile conference on climate change and related issues. India also participated in the Stockholm Conference of 1972. Now, after 1 year of the Stockholm Conference, that is in 1973, on 5th June, World Environment Day was celebrated. And this World Environment Day was meant to raise awareness in the people with respect to environmental degradation, etc. And since 1973, every year, 5th June is being observed as the World Environment Day. 2023 was the 50th year anniversary. Okay, so by the way, these things are often asked. And the theme of the 50th World Environment Day was Beat Plastic Pollution. By the way, and it was hosted by Cote d'Ivoire, which is an African country. By the way, India also hosted the World Environment Day, that is the 45th World Environment Day in 2018. So India has also hosted 45th World Environment Day, that was in 2018. Its theme incidentally was also beat plastic pollution. This article is also talking about the plastic pollution. Today, when we talk about the pollution in general, plastic pollution has become one of the most notorious one. It has become one of the most concerning one. Today, even in the plastic pollution, the problem of microplastics, it has become even more concerning. Now, when the plastic breaks down, sometimes it gets fragmented in uh, certain pieces of plastics which are very tiny, very small. You cannot even see it from the naked eyes. But these pieces of plastics, they enter our food chain. They are consumed by fishes, and even today in the human blood streams, as per one of our report, microplastics are found. So today microplastics, they have become a very big concern. They are most of them are non-biodegradable. Some of them are biodegradable, but most of them are non-biodegradable. So plastic pollution is an important aspect. So therefore, now pollution is an important theme in GS paper number 3. So therefore, this article, where it will be important, GS paper number 3, environment and related issues. Now, this article, it has given certain data with respect to problem of plastic pollution. So here we have report by OECD. OECD stands for Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. By the way, few things, guys, that you need to understand is that whenever you are writing any answer on any issue, when you are addressing any question and you are giving data, ensure that you are always quoting report from which you are giving the data, because if you don't quote source, if you don't quote report, that data doesn't mean anything. So according to a report by OECD, what is the name of report? Global Plastic Outlook Report. So this particular report provides this particular thing, that the plastic waste was around 353 million ton in 2019, and it is set to triple by 2060. Okay, so plastic pollution is becoming a very big problem. Now, what is the amount of plastic that is being processed? So it has been said that only 9% of this particular plastic is being recycled. 9% of plastic which is being dumped as waste, 9% is being recycled. Fine. Around 50% is being sent to landfills. 19% is being incinerated, means it is being burned. 22% is being disposed in landfills. 22% is being just disposed in the landfills. Now, this plastic which is being dumped in landfills, what will happen? It will break, it will turn in microplastics, it will lead to a huge problems. Now, further, according to a report by UNEP, that is the United Nations Environment Program, according to a report by UNEP, it is being said that, you see, of the plastic that is being recycled, fine, of the plastic that is being recycled, now you see this particular thing, that how much plastic gets recycled? Out of total plastic waste, only 9% gets recycled. Fine. So of this recycled plastic, 85% plastic recycling is done by informal sector workers, informal recycling workers. Now, when we talk about India, you know that in India particularly, lot of waste collection, garbage disposal, it is handled by whom? It is handled by informal sector. Informal sector recyclers, informal sector garbage collectors, etc. Now, according to UN Habitat Waste-Wise Cities tool, fine, UN Habitat Waste-Wise Cities tool, it has been said that informal sector, it accounts for 80% of municipal solid waste recovery. Okay, so even in the solid waste management in the cities, informal sector is playing an important role. You got two sources. One, you got UN Habitat report, waste-wise cities tool, and second, you get UNEP report. So what I am emphasizing, or what this article is emphasizing that informal sector, okay, informal sector workers, they play a very important role, as they are playing role in recycling. What they are helping, they are promoting circular waste management. Now, basically, guys, what is the circular waste management, or what is the idea of circular economy in nutshell? You see this particular thing, that there are the two aspects. There can be linear consumption model. What is linear consumption model? Linear consumption model: produce, consume, dispose or discard. Produce, consume, discard. Produce, consume, discard. This is the linear model of consumption. What is circular model of consumption? use, reuse, recycle, refurbish, again use. So use, reuse, recycle, refurbish. This is a circular model of consumption. Circular model of consumption is more sensitive to environment and ecology. If we talk about India, India in the Glasgow in COP26 Conference of Parties 26 under UNFCCC, which was held in Glasgow, India gave a call of life movement. Now India gave this particular call that under life movement we are going to promote conscious consumption. So in conscious consumption, more focus will be on use, reuse, recycle, refurbish. More focus will be on that. So India has also adopted the idea of circular consumption. Now, when we talk about these informal sector workers who are promoting, who are playing a role in recovery, who are playing a role in recycle, they are the one who are the truly helping in the circular waste management systems. Okay. Also, as plastic is being recycled, what will happen? It will not get incinerated, it will not get burnt. So what is happening? They are also helping in the mitigation of greenhouse gas emissions. Okay, so they are helping in mitigation of greenhouse gas emissions. They are helping in promoting the circular model of consumption. Also, they are promoting, they are playing, helping in sustainability. They are helping in sustainability. Okay, this is something. And also, if you remember, a lot of plastic waste it gets dumped in the landfills. Now that plastic waste is not going in the landfill sites. So what they are doing, they are also helping in they are also helping in ensuring that the groundwater table they don't get polluted. So all these important roles are being played by the recycling informal sector recycling workers. But we don't pay attention on them, we don't focus on them. Now according to leave no one behind report, all the strategies to reduce plastic pollution, they don't take in account the contributions of the informal sector workers, or they neglect their recovery capacities, they neglect their skill sets that they have accumulated, they neglect the knowledge of the informal sector workers. They are not integrated in formal policy making, they are neglected, which is a big blunder that is being committed. Now you can also open one dimension of social justice here. Now you see this thing, safai karamcharis, okay, we need to focus on them rather than neglecting. They should be incorporated in policy making in the waste management in India. That one dimension can also be opened up. Now guys, what is happening today basically there is increased privatization. Big corporates, they are entering in the waste management. Also what has happened even in policy making, how they are being excluded. Now you see this particular thing, there is the concept of this extended producer responsibility that was introduced. Now this concept has been introduced in lot of countries and even India with the plastic waste management rules 2016. India has formalized this EPR. Now what is this EPR? Let's understand, and then you will be able to understand that how by this EPR these people are being excluded. So let's understand this thing. So idea of EPR, extended producer responsibility, is something like this. EPR, extended producer responsibility. Suppose there is a manufacturer of mobile phone. Let's say the life of mobile phone is 10 years. Let's say the life of mobile phone is 10 years. In 2024, let's say this manufacturer sold 1 lakh units of mobile phone. 1 lakh unit of mobile phone. What is the lifespan of this mobile phone? 10 years. So it is the responsibility of this mobile phone manufacturer that after 10 years, that is in 2034, he needs to recollect. These 1 lakh units that he sold in 2024. Okay. Why he needs to recollect? So that then this manufacturer can process it, can recycle it, okay, for this particular purpose. So basically, for example, now this will not only be applicable for mobile phones, it will be applicable for a lot of other manufacturers. For example, I am the ones who, let's say I have a company and I sell cola, I sell soft drink. Now soft drink is being sold in plastic bottles. I need to recollect those plastic bottles. So basically now what is happening, collection of plastic waste is being made as a responsibility of corporates themselves. Fine. So Coca-Cola, if they are selling 5 lakh bottles of cola, they need to collect 5 lakh bottles back after a particular period, within a particular period. So this is being given in the hands of the corporate sectors. Now the point is that rather than bringing the corporate sector who don't have expertise, you should have incorporated the informal sector workers. That has not happened. So even this EPR, what it does, this EPR system, it also neglects them. It also neglects them. Now, when we talk about, guys, curbing the plastic waste on this particular dimension, there is the global plastic treaty that's there. There is global plastic treaty. Now this global plastic treaty, it aims to eliminate the plastic pollution. It aims to eliminate plastic pollution. And within this global plastic treaty, there is intergovernmental negotiating committee that was established in 2021. Fine. My apologies. Intergovernmental negotiating committee. Intergovernmental negotiating committee under Global Plastic Treaty. When it was established? 2021, during the United Nations Environment Assembly meeting, 5th United Nations Environment Assembly meeting. Now, this Intergovernmental Negotiating Committee, it has met multiple number of times, and now 5th meeting. So now INC 5 meeting will be held. Where it will be held? It is in South Korea. And this INC is now discussing that how we can recognize the efforts of informal sector workers. So basically, International Alliance of Waste Pickers, it is advocating concerns of informal sector waste pickers. It is advocating that their efforts should be recognized. Fine. So International Alliance of Waste Pickers, it is a vocal participant in the UNEE Plastic Treaty, which is emphasizing the need to support the informal sector workers. They need to be formalized. They need to be given more skill set. They are needed to be integrated in plastic waste management. So this is something that is happening, and maybe they will get their due recognition. Now, when we talk about India, what is India's approach? So India has adopted a balanced approach. For example, first of all, India's approach with respect to plastic is: number one, repair items which can be repaired, reuse, refill. Okay, repair, reuse, refill. For example, just one small example: you have used a pen, rather than throwing it and buying a new pen, try to refill it. Many such items are there which are made up of plastics, which can be refilled, which can be reused. Okay, recycling. So repair, reuse, refill, recycling. This is the India's approach with respect to the management of plastic waste, with respect to the reduction of plastic waste. Also, India provides this particular thing, that country specific circumstances should be recognized with respect to elimination of plastic waste. You should not have one size fit all approach. Rather, country specific approach should be adopted. Okay. Informal workers role should also be recognized. Now also, what has happened in India, also there are demands that are being made that we need to reconsider India's EPR norms also. I told you already that India has also incorporated the EPR norms. And now in the INC 5 meeting, okay, it will be discussed that how we can ensure the 15 million informal recycling workers, that they get their due share, how their contributions will be recognized. So that will be seen. So I hope that you have got much clarity on this particular aspect. So plastic waste management, role of informal sector workers, their concerns, and how they are needed to be incorporated. Now, moving on in the next article. Okay, health regulation need a base to top approach. Now, this article is taken from the Hindu newspaper. First of all, where this particular article will be important? So this particular article will be important. In GS paper number 2, social justice issues related to health. Now, let's get started with this particular article. So basically, first of all, let me give you some basic background, some basic context. So what happened, guys? Recently, you might be knowing that this fire incident happened in Delhi, where there was a deadly fire at a pediatric hospital. There was one fire incident that happened in Gujarat in one of a gaming center. And in both of these fire incidents, what happened? Large number of fatalities happened. Particularly fire at hospital in Delhi. It has grabbed a lot of headlines. Now, many angles have come out of this particular fire incident. First of all, what happened in the case of Delhi? This hospital where this fire incident happened, number one, this particular hospital had far more number of beds than what was allowed. Number two, they have stored far more oxygen cylinders in their reception area than what it was allowed. And in fact, fire got aided because of this oxygen cylinders that were stored. Thirdly, they did not had fire extinguishers, they did not had back door entry. Okay, so much rules were flouted. Even the doctors that were there, they were Ayurvedic doctors that were working in a allopathy facility. So there were many lapses, there were very gaps that are there. Also, one more dimension that got opened up in this particular instance is that, see, because government hospitals, government healthcare has not been able to provide the healthcare services to the people, okay, and good private hospitals are very expensive, a gap opens up in between, and in these gap, these not properly regularized or these particular type of shady healthcare facilities, they open. So this is the entire development that has happened. So this particular article, it is giving a different kind of a perspective. This article is giving a different kind of a perspective. What perspective it is giving? This article is saying that, okay, yes, in the case of this Delhi hospital, it was the case that they have not taken, the clearances were not there, all these things were there. But, but at the same time, we also need to understand that often regulatory process of approvals, it becomes too much frustrating for the commercial establishments, that they think that rather than taking it, let's abandon them altogether. We'll explore this issue in this particular article. So basically the article recognizes that there is a need to reform India's healthcare regulations, approvals that are needed by the healthcare sector. Now you see this thing, that first problem that we have is that there is a regulatory excess. There is a regulatory excess. There are so many health regulations that are to be followed. There are approximately 50 approvals. There are approximately 50 approvals that are to be taken by hospitals. And these approvals are to be taken from different agencies, different departments. And often obtaining these approvals, it becomes so frustrating that hospitals altogether, they develop an apathy, they neglect them. They are ready to pay fine whenever their inspection happens. So point is that process of getting approval is so difficult that a kind of an apathy has developed in the mind of these medical facilities. Now it has been said that, see, when we talk about the health sector in India, for regulation of health sector, we have Clinical Establishments Act 2010, we have Indian Public Health Standards Act, we have Indian Public Health Standards Act. Now these particular regulations, they look perfect on paper, but their implementation is not there. Their implementation is not there. So point is that first we needed to simplify the process of getting approval. Second, we need to ensure that existing regulations that we have, such as Clinical Establishment Act, Indian Public Health Standards, they needed to be implemented on the ground. Now, few things that needs to be understood is that, see, when we talk about India's healthcare system, we have a mixed healthcare system. When we talk about India's healthcare system, what type of healthcare system we have? We have a mixed healthcare system. Now, this mixed healthcare system, it comprises both government facilities and private facilities. However, private facilities, they are far more bigger than the government facilities. When we talk about the majority number of beds, they are in the private hospitals. When we talk about the majority of OPDs, they are happening in the private hospitals. For example, private sector is delivering 70% of the outpatient and 50% of the hospital services in India. So in outpatient services, 70% outpatient services are being provided by whom? Private sector player, private sector player. Now, when we talk about the private sector landscape in healthcare in India, it is also not uniform. There are one doctor establishments that are there where there is only one doctor. There are the establishments where there is one doctor, one or two paramedic, and they are having 3 4 beds. And then there are the facilities like Apollo Hospital, Max Hospital, which are hundred, which are hospitals having hundreds of beds, having multiple operational departments. So even the private sector landscape is differentiated. It is not same. Now, guys, when we talk about the regulatory aspect, understand on one hand there is overzealous attempt to enforce regulation. We want to project India. We want to project India as the hub of medical tourism. We want to project India as the hub of medical tourism. And because of this particular thing, we are coming out with a lot of regulations. But these particular regulations, they are not implemented. Our private hospitals have so much regulation. Government hospitals, they don't face much of regulation. So this is one issue. There is delay in approval. There is delay in getting approval. Often it takes so many days to get approval, to get renewals, that I told you already that it develops a kind of an apathy. Okay. So this is something that is needed to be understood. So what is the need? What is the way forward? What is to be done in this particular capacity? Number one, we need to simplify regulation. We need to develop the guidelines which are practical and implementable. Okay. You need to ensure this particular thing, that if you will make compliance very much difficult to get, hospitals are not going to altogether get it. This kind of a negative attitude will develop. Okay. Second, even the departments should give the time bound approvals. Second is that there is a need of differentiated standards. Now you see this thing. You cannot impose the same standards on a 500 bedded facility and a 5 bedded facility. There are to be different now, but we are not saying that differentiated standard means that weak standards for small hospitals and exceptionally strong. No, you need to understand that what type of approach will work best, and on that particular basis, differentiated standards should be there for large corporate hospitals and for smaller clinics. Fine. Also, small hospitals, they play a very important role in delivering the healthcare because government is not able to give. So subsidies and funding is to be provided to the small healthcare facilities so that they can comply with safety regulations, but at the same time, it does not becomes unaffordable for them. Then after that, when we design the regulatory architecture, regulatory framework, there is a need that multiple stakeholders should be included. For example, doctors association should be included, that how safety regulations should be framed, what type of safety regulation is to be imposed on big hospitals, small hospitals. Fine. There should be the community members, there should be the NGOs which should be included, and all these stakeholders, doctors, civil servants, civil societies, they should be brought, and this compliance guideline should be framed. Then next is that we should also focus on single doctor clinics that are there, smaller healthcare facilities that are there, and at the same time, where implementation should be focused. I told you this particular thing, that many number of a times, I have told you this thing already, that problem is not that the law is not there. Clinical Establishment Act example already I have given you. Problem is implementation is not there. Now, hospitals are not complying with these particular things when it comes to the limelight, only when such incident happens, when media reports are made. So rather than waiting for an accident to happen, before time, implementation should be focused. So I hope, guys, that you have understood it. And now moving on to the next article. Now, guys, here what we have done, actually there are multiple articles that got published in the different newspaper. For example, there is this one article, Change and Continuity, published in Hindu. Then a Women's Place, this article published in Indian Express. Then there was one more article that again published in Indian Express newspaper. And all these particular articles pertain to the women participation in politics. So first of all, what will be the utility of this particular article? This article we are going to use with respect to GS paper number 2. GS paper number 2, women and related issues. And within women and related issues, women participation in politics. There is one dimension of Mexico that is also we are going to cover. So you will get a special case study also. You will get a special case study also in this particular article. So let's get started with this particular article. Now, you see this particular thing. Okay. Now, so basically, guys, when we talk about women, so women in politics, women participation has been very much less. In politics, women participation has been very much less. And when we talk about the women participation in politics, fine, just a minute, guys, give me a minute. Fine. Okay. So when we talk about the women participation in politics, we find this thing that in India, the last Lok Sabha that was there was 15.1% MPs, women MPs that were there. And who gives this particular data? This particular data is given by the Global Gender Gap Index report. Okay, 15.1% MPs are the women. Okay, now around the world, countries are coming out with the different tools to give more and more representation to the women in politics. For example, when we talk about India, women's reservation bill which recently got passed, it provides for 33% reservation for the women in Lok Sabha and the state assemblies. However, implementation of this has not happened until now because the women reservation will be made applicable after the 2026 delimitation that will happen and 2021 census that will be conducted. As of now, 2021 census has not been conducted. So once the census will be conducted and once delimitation will happen, it will be implemented. Okay, one thing. Now, so 33% reservation we are giving to the women. Okay, means we are promoting more and more women in politics. But is it really happening? Now, if we talk about the last Lok Sabha, so there were 78 women MPs that were there. Okay, however, in the 18th Lok Sabha that now got constituted, 73 women MPs are there. 73 women MPs are there. Okay, so basically number of women MP, it has come down from 78 to 73. 78 to 73. Okay, so this is one thing that has happened. Fine. So point is that though we are promoting the women in politics, but politics stays to be a boys. There is a boys club mentality that is in politics. There is a boys club mentality that is there in the politics. Means men are more preferred in politics. It is provided that we need to therefore work on a systemic level to promote more and more women's participation. Now, women's participation in Indian elections have increased. Now, first of all, guys, when we talk about women voter turnout, it has increased. Okay. In the present Lok Sabha elections that were culminated, there was almost parity in terms of male voters and female voters. So it has been said that both male and female voter turnout was 66%. Data is shared by the Election Commission. Means equal number of women are voting now compared to the men. In the past, there were actually the instances where the male voter turnout was more, but now female voter turnout has increased. Because of that, governments are also focusing on women. For example, guys, when we talk about the two of the states case study, that is the West Bengal and Madhya Pradesh. Now, West Bengal and Madhya Pradesh, the political parties that won there, they have specifically focused on women voters. For example, there is, in the case of West Bengal, there is a Lakshmir Bhandar scheme that was there. Under this Lakshmir Bhandar scheme, there is the cash transfer that are given to the women. Okay, so basically monthly cash transfer is being given to the women, and in the same Madhya Pradesh, there is a Ladli Behna scheme. Under Ladli Behna scheme also, the financial the transfers are being given in the name of women. So under Ladli Behna scheme, specifically women were targeted, and under Lakshmir Bhandar scheme also women were targeted. And because of that, the political parties, they made resounding victories there. The point is that today political parties understand that women voters are to be targeted. Women voters are to be tapped in for the victory. Okay, but we need to understand that the women should not only be viewed as voters and beneficiaries of schemes. Rather than coming out with the schemes for the women, rather than seeing them as the beneficiaries of the scheme, women are needed to be seen as decision makers. That is what we mean when we talk about the Nari Shakti. We need not to go for women centric policies, we need to go for women led we need to go for women led leadership. So this is something that is to be done. Now, in this capacity, guys, we can take some help from the other countries. We can learn from the examples of the other countries. And here we need to take the two case studies. First of all, guys, we'll be taking the case studies from the European countries such as Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Netherlands. These countries have one of the highest female political representation. Now, in the case of Sweden, there is this zipper system that they have. They have zipper system in the case of Sweden. Zipper system. Now, what is this? Zipper system is also called as zebra system. Now, what is the zipper system? Let me explain you in very simple terms. So, when a political party is coming out with their candidate list, one male candidate, one female candidate, one male candidate, one female candidate, one male candidate, one female candidate. So, for every male, there will be one female candidate. So, they need to ensure that if they are giving, if they are if any political party is giving ticket to, let's say, 10 candidates, 5 need to be men, 5 need to be female. This is a zebra system, or called as zipper system. Now, because of this zebra or zipper system, what has happened? Female political parity has come in. Female political parity has come in the case of Sweden. In the case of Sweden. Now, this is something that can be learned. So, zipper system, also called as zebra system, can be adopted in India. Then, there is one more case study that we can take from Mexico. So what happened in case of Mexico? Claudia Sheinbaum, Claudia Sheinbaum, he made history by becoming the first women president of Mexico. In fact, guys, in the race, the two president candidates that were there, both were women, which is a very good thing. Now, when we talk about Mexico, guys, we have find this particular thing that in Mexican politics, there has been a kind of a machismo that prevailed. Now, please use this keyword. What is this machismo? Machismo means that there was a kind of a masculinity that prevailed in the office of president, means it was assumed that the president needs to be masculine. So masculine personality was attached with the office of president. And here a female president, it has broken that machismo character that was attached with the office of president in Mexico. That is one. Moreover, Mexico will now serve as a case study for North America in general, because you see this thing that neither US nor Canada, they have elected a women head to, for example, in case of US, fine, the same in the case of US, there has not been a single female president. So it will also be a reminder to the US and Canada also that their leadership, okay, their highest leadership should now go in the hands of the female. Moreover, now we see that Mexico, they have transitioned from a functional democracy to a democracy of strong institutions, because now women are also being given equal level playing field. Now, when we talk about the women role in politics and women role in the highest elected decision making, that particular role has been emphasized a lot post 1975. Post 1975. Now, understand this thing. What happened? So, in 1975, United Nations first World Conference on Women was held. And this first World Conference of Women, UN first World Conference of Women, it was held in Mexico only, Mexico City. Since then, what is happening? More and more participation of women in politics is being encouraged. Moreover, guys, very good reference here. Please do use it. Understand this thing that United Nations Division for the Advancement of Women, one, and other is the Commission on the Status of Women, CSW. Both are working on the theory of critical mass of women. Now, what is this theory of critical mass of women? Theory of critical mass of women means how many women are actually needed in leadership, how many women are actually needed in legislatures, so that the women-centric, women-oriented policies can be made. How many minimum? So it means that how many minimum women legislators you need to have. So they provided this particular thing that the critical mass of women should be 33%, means at least 33% of legislators, 33% of the members in the house should be women. Okay, and this 33% critical mass of the women should be there. It was also included in the fourth World Conference of Women that was held in 1995. Now, this fourth World Conference of Women in 1995, its final outcome was Beijing document. Okay, Beijing Declaration. By the way, in UPSC, question has also been asked on Beijing Declaration. So this Beijing Declaration also recognized that 33% women should be there in the leadership positions. They should be made as legislators. And because of that, because of the influence of this thing, Argentina, way back in 1991, they came out with a 30% gender quota laws, and different countries, and up till now, more than 100 countries have come out with a gender quotas in politics. India has already passed the 106th Constitutional Amendment Act, where the 33% seats are reserved for the women in Lok Sabha and the state legislative assembly. So this is the way that how this entire issue has evolved. This is the way as how this entire issue has evolved. So I hope guys that you have understood it. Now moving on to the next one, and guys, there is one question also on the women reservation that actually came, and um, it got shifted here. Let me show you the question. So there has been a question. A minute. The reservation of seats. The reservation of seats for women in the institution of local self-government has had a limited impact on the patriarchal character of the Indian political process. Comment. So, what they are saying? They are saying this particular thing. There's what they are saying. So, they are saying this particular thing, that women reservation might not have changed the mindset in the when we talk about the self-government institutions at the local level. Okay, moving on. So again, guys, here there are the two articles both pertaining to AI. You don't need to know. This was one article published in Indian Express and an overview of Europe's AI convention. Again, article on AI published in Hindu. So Indian Express and the Hindu newspaper, we had these two articles. Okay, so first of all, let me tell you the development that has happened here, and then we'll go and we'll discuss the larger issues of AI, AI development, AI governance in India that we are going to discuss. First of all, guys, what has happened? There is one new AI, artificial intelligence chatbot. There is one new artificial intelligence chatbot that has been developed by researchers at MIT University. And this particular AI chatbot, it simulates an older version of a user. Now, often what happens, we say this particular thing that, okay, if I knew this thing 10 years earlier, I would have done this. If I knew this thing 20 years earlier, I would have done this. What is actually happening? You are saying that, okay, today I am wise. Today I am wise to know few things. I did not knew these things 10 years earlier. Means sometimes even you think that, okay, if I would have a time machine, I'll go back 10 years. I'll go back 10 years and I'll tell my younger self that you should do this, you should not do this, you should do this. We often have certain regrets. Okay. We often develop, our thinking evolves over a period of time. So today, the type of a person that I have today, the type of habits I'm having today, types of beliefs that I'm having, they were not there 10 years earlier. And sometimes I want that they should have been adopted by me sometimes 10, 15, 20 years earlier. So what has happened? So the researchers at MIT University, they have made a chatbot which can create a kind of a future self of you, and that your future avatar can give you recommendations, can give you advices today. So basically what they have done, they have created a chatbot which will have a profile picture of aged you, okay, and it can give you advice that like you are speaking from the 20 years in the future. So what happens? They have developed a chatbot which stimulates a older version of the user and can provide advice based on their past behavior and their inputs. This is something that has happened. Okay, this is something that has happened. Now, beyond that, you need not to go too much in this particular article. Now, what we are looking forward, we are looking to this particular development that today AI chatbots, they have evolved so much. Today, we are just looking at how much development has happened on the AI landscape. That today, even the AI is capable of giving you life advice from future you. Today, AI is being used in drug discovery. Today, AI is being used in decision making. Today, AI is being used in eliminating of the repetitive task. Okay, fine. Okay, so guys, when we talk about the AI today AI is developing at such a high pace that we need to really curb the AI. Otherwise AI will become an uncontrollable program. Okay, and in order to regulate AI, recently this AI convention was held in Europe. Now first of all guys, when we talk about AI, few things you need to understand about the AI first. Few things you need to understand about the AI first. Just a minute. Artificial intelligence. There is general AI, general artificial intelligence, which can mimic human thinking, human brain. Now, when we talk about humans are not fettered with a particular prompt. For example, you can create, you can do repetitive tasks, you can imagine at the same time. General AI, which can mimic a human brain, which not be fettered by a particular domain, a discipline, by a particular type of a prompt. That is a general AI. So when the machines will be able to make autonomous decision making, when they can do autonomous decision making at their own without a prompt, that will be called as general AI. Then we have a generative AI. We have generative AI. Today, most of the AI that you see, it is generative AI. It is generative AI. For example, ChatGPT is an example of generative AI. You give a prompt that okay, give me a you give a prompt that okay, give me a recipe to make chocolate cake. It will give you that recipe. Okay. You are giving a prompt, it is giving you an output. Fine, it is generating text. ChatGPT generates text. Midjourney, Delay, they generate image. Sora is one of a new initiative of ChatGPT, OpenAI, and what they can do, it can make videos. So this is generative AI where you give a particular type of a prompt, and on the basis of that particular prompt, it will give you an output. And to be very frank, it is very rudimentary. It is a very basic kind of an AI. Okay. So today, most of the AI application that you see, it is of a generative AI. But the way generative AI is evolving every day, there developments going on in generative AI, there might be a time that we will also reach to general AI, which can have autonomous independent thinking, which will have autonomous independent decision making capabilities, and that we don't know what will be the repercussions of that particular kind of a future. So in order to regulate the AI, what has happened recently, there was this AI convention that was also held. So what happened? Council of Europe. Now this Council of Europe, it is intergovernmental organization which has 46 member countries. Okay, European countries are there largely. US is also there. So this Council of Europe, what they have done, they have adopted this AI convention. And this AI convention, what it provides, this is a broad convention. It is a framework convention. What is a framework convention in general? Guys, you might be knowing there is UNFCCC, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. You might be knowing about CBD, Convention on Biological Diversity. So, for example, we have UNFCCC, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Now, UNFCCC lays down the broad contours. Broadly, it says that we need to ensure that the climate change does not hampers the survival of certain communities. We need to ensure that the temperature should not go beyond a level that it ignites irreversible climate change. So broad contours have been defined by UNFCCC, but nitty-gritties have not been defined in UNFCCC. Nitty-gritties are decided over a period of time. Same way, CBD we have, Convention on Biological Diversity. It does not defines the microscopic targets. It does not define the nitty-gritties. It lays down the broad contours. For example, CBD, it broadly says that we need to conserve biodiversity. We need to ensure that the benefits of biodiversity should be shared among all. Nitty-gritties, they are defined with by the subsequent agreements within a framework convention. For example, there is a Cartagena Protocol, Aichi targets, there is Nagoya Protocol within CBD. Same way, UNFCCC, we have INDCs, we have Paris Agreement. Okay, so point is that a framework convention broadly defines the contours. Within a framework convention, then the specific targets will be agreed. So this AI convention is a framework convention, means it has broadly defined that what we need to focus. And this AI convention broadly defines Broadly, it defines that we need to ensure. Broadly, it defines that we need to ensure that existing human and fundamental rights, which are there, which are protected by international and as well as the national laws and conventions. For example, we have United Nations Declaration of Human Rights 1948. So United Nations Declaration of Human Rights recognizes certain human rights. Same way, every country has their own fundamental rights. In India, we give fundamental rights. Many countries are giving fundamental rights. So already recognized rights of the humans nationally, as well as recognized rights at the international level, such as by the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights, they are to be safeguarded. They are to be safeguarded during the application of artificial intelligence systems. They are needed to be safeguarded during the implementation of the AI systems. See, this AI convention, which has been signed under the Council of Europe, it does not create new rights. It says that existing rights should be recognized. What it recognizes? It recognizes this particular thing, that AI need to respect human rights, democracy. There should be responsible use of AI. And under this AI convention, this AI convention has also been signed by the US also. Fine. US is also a member of COE and has signed the AI convention. Why now US's participation is important? US happens to be the hotbed of AI today. Fine, ChatGPT, Google, all they are working on AI, they are based out of US. So US today is a hotbed of AI development that is going on. That is going on. Okay. Now, what this AI convention says that has been signed, this AI convention says this particular thing, that it ensures that activities within the life cycle of AI should be fully consistent with human rights, democracy, and rule of law. So you see this particular thing, that as we see that AI is evolving today, even the chatbots which can give an advice based on your experiences from the future has come. There is highly a need that AI should be regulated, and this is the right time that this convention of Europe, they have taken the AI convention. Now, when we talk about India, India has also proposed the regulation of AI under G20. There is also the Bletchley Summit that has so Bletchley Declaration, sorry, that has been there, which also talks about the regulation of AI. So around the world, AI regulation is going on. Now, as we are talking about AI today, AI chatbots can give you life advices. Even today, judiciary is using the AI. There is one more dimension of AI in judiciary that I have taken so that you can use it in your exam. So basically, when we talk about the AI, guys, in the judiciary, there are certain instances, certain case studies that I have picked. One case study is from Manipur High Court. Manipur High Court recently said that they have recently used Google and ChatGPT to do a research on a case. While deciding on a case, they have used ChatGPT 3.5. Even the Punjab and Haryana High Court said that they used the ChatGPT to deny the bail in a matter. To understand about the bail jurisprudence, they have used ChatGPT. So Punjab and Haryana High Court, Manipur High Court, they have used ChatGPT during their course of jurisprudence. Now, Delhi High Court at the same time has a different view on usage of ChatGPT AI. So Delhi High Court said this particular thing, that the ChatGPT cannot be used to decide on a legal or factual aspects of a cases. They said that ChatGPT cannot be used because ChatGPT often gives incorrect responses. Fictional case laws are there, and in fact, we have a case study from USA also. So in USA, what happened? One of a judge fined a lawyer. Why? Now, this lawyer, it was making his statements, he was making his submissions in the court, and he did his research from the ChatGPT, and ChatGPT created, its own case laws. What happened? These cases never happened. ChatGPT created out of its own imagination. So, because of these particular matters, USA, they have very clearly, basically, they US judiciary, they have released a detailed guidelines about the usage of generative artificial intelligence in courts. This says that you can use ChatGPT for basic tasks, just for summarizing the large bodies of text, fine, for making presentation. But you cannot use the ChatGPT or generative AI in the case of some research work. Now, these guidelines were submitted in the case context of US. When we talk about India, there are no guidelines in India for the matters related to the chat GPT for the matters related to the usage of generative AI. There are no such kind of guidelines in India. So now even in the case of India, there is a need that we need to come out with a detailed guidelines with respect to the usage of AI, because AI is evolving at such a large extent. Fine. So this is, guys, all about this particular article. I hope that you have understood it. And now moving to the next article. Okay, before moving, guys, there are some questions also that have come in this particular direction. Let's see these questions. So first, there was this question in 2020: with the present state of development, AI can effectively do which of the following? So please try to attempt this and try to leave your answer in the comment box. So what AI can do: bring down electricity consumption in industrial unit. First. Second, create meaningful short stories and songs. 3, disease diagnosis. 4, fourth, text to speech conversion. Fifth, wireless transmission of electrical energy. So you need to choose option A, B, C, D. Okay, you have 4 options. Fine, need to choose the right option. Okay. Then there is one more question that came in the mains examination. Introduce the concept of AI. How does AI help clinical diagnosis? Do you perceive any threat to privacy of the individual in the use of AI in healthcare? Okay. So I hope that this is clear. Now moving on, and here we have one more article from Indian Express, the new journalist. Now this particular article we are going to use for with respect to the GS paper number 3, social media and elections. Social media and elections. Social media and elections. Now, before going in this particular article, guys, let me give you some basic background. Now, guys, we have seen that social media platforms, they played a very important role in recent elections that were conducted. We know this particular thing, that the independent journalists on YouTube, they have played a very good role in educating people, making awareness in the people with respect to the electoral choices that they need to be made. Even politicians, political parties, they use the social media extensively for their campaigning. Okay. Also, when we talk about, guys, social media is also characterized by a phenomena that it often democratizes the media. Now it has been provided that 20 years back, 30 years back, when social media was not pervasive, what happened? Campaigning was available only to those political parties which have a lot of funding. Okay, often a lot of voices, they were not able to reach to the masses when the social media was not there. Okay, but today, because of social media, everybody with a mobile phone, it has an access to a they have access to a platform which can give them the voice. So voiceless are getting voice today because of the social media platforms. And there is one beautiful line that is there in this particular article, and I would like to share it with you. Uh, so basically, what has happened, it has been said that today mobile phone has become more of a powerful tool today. Today mobile phone has become more of a powerful tool today. Okay. Now let's get started with this particular article. Now, first of all, guys, according to a report by Election Commission of India, 2024 general elections, it had a record breaking turnout in terms of numbers. There were 97 crore eligible voters that were there. Okay, fine. Now, this was said to be the largest election in the history. And in this particular election, the social media played a very important role. Today, we see why social media's role has become that much important. It is because today, traditional media is facing a lot of challenges. Traditional media is facing a lot of challenges. For example, when we talk about today, traditional media, it faces the challenges that traditional media is biased towards ruling establishment. Often there are many type of words that are used but will not use it. So it is said that today traditional media is biased towards the ruling government. It does not give the democratic space to opposition parties. It is said that they hinder opposition parties by asking questions from opposition parties largely and not asking questions from the ruling parties. It has been said that, okay, according to Center for Media Studies, it has been said that the power of opposition to carry forward their message has been stifled because of the biasness of traditional media. And here social media emerges. Today we find this particular thing that they are the citizen journalists that have emerged. Today citizens, they are themselves coming on the front and are bringing the challenges in governance. Today citizens are coming and reporting the crisis of governance that are there, law and order situations. Citizens are coming forward and are reporting them. There are independent platforms that have emerged. There are many YouTubers that are picking up the issues. In fact, guys, recently this Porsche case in Pune happened, and this particular case was a very high profile case, and this particular case is getting all of attention largely because of it was shared extensively on social media. So today, independent platforms, YouTube channels, okay, citizen journalists, they have emerged as influential player and they are influencing the politics. Because of this particular thing, today even we find this particular thing that the mainstream politicians, they are choosing to get engaged with people via the help of many YouTubers and the YouTube channels. Today, mobile phone, this was a line that I was saying, mobile phone has become the most potent election weapon. Most potent election weapon. Okay, this is something that has happened. Also, today we find this particular thing that the YouTube X, which was formerly Twitter, they have revolutionized the political communication landscape in India. Today politicians, they are directly reaching with their voters. Today they don't need to depend on the mainstream media. Even the today political candidates who don't come from influential political parties or who don't have that big political patronage, even they are directly reaching to people with the help of these particular platforms. So real democratization of media has happened with the help of the social media. Also, it has been provided that social media platforms and their usage election, it is creating a new template for a post-truth politics. Now, this word post-truth, it is very important. You should understand this. So basically, what is the post-truth? So post-truth was declared as the word of year by Oxford. So post-truth was declared as word of the year by Oxford Dictionary way back in 2016. Now, what does post-truth means? So, for example, post-truth means a situation when rather than facts, emotion and sentiments become important. For example, post-truth politics. So post-truth politics is a type of a politics where politicians contest elections not on the basis of policy, not on the basis of facts and data, rather on the basis of emotions, rather on the basis of sentiments, rather than on the basis of feelings. So today it has been said that around the world politics is being shaped by the phenomena of post-truth. Today you go and you see in the elections, you'll find that a major narrative that's there is the sentiments, feeling, emotions. Somewhere it is emotion of nationalism, somewhere it is the emotion which is being shaped by religion and all such kind of a thing. So today in the post-truth world, the world where the post-truth politics has become such important, there the social media is going to play a very important role. Today also it has been provided that there is a kind of a digital insurgency that has happened. Today anyone with a mobile phone, anyone with a microphone, what has happened, they are coming forward and they are questioning the government. They are coming forward and they are keeping forward their grievances without any fear or favor. So this digital insurgency, okay, the fine virtual engagement today on social media, let's say on YouTube, people can engage, they can comment, they can like, they can dislike. It tells a lot about the mood of the nation. It tells a lot about the sentiments of the nation. So today we find this particular thing that the social media, it is democratizing not only the freedom of speech and expression, but also today social media is furthermore providing the democratic companion to the political parties. So this is something that has happened, and let's see how that particular thing is going to evolve more and more in the future. So that is all, guys, about this particular development, and this is actually a very potent topic for your essay also, because when we talk about the essay, in essay such kind of topics have been asked in the past. So I hope that you have got much idea here, and that is all, guys, about the today's video. And I hope that you have liked this particular video. Guys, what you feel about this video, what more things you would like to see in this particular video, please feel free to engage on that particular front. Please let us know in the comment box that how you are what more additions you want in this particular session, and also let us know your views on this particular things. Thank you so much. Now we'll be meeting with the next session very soon. Thank you so much.